Hi everyone, Happy New Year and welcome back to the WARNO devlog series. UGen are here a day early because it's Wednesday and not Thursday, and they've got a treat for us all. Yes, they have made a massive announcement. You may have not been good enough to get a Christmas gift off them, but you've certainly got a New Year gift. They say Happy New Year, Commanders, we are back in action and boy do we have some exciting stuff to share with you. Hitting the WARNO shores in the very near future, meaning between now and next week, is the first super alpha version of our game's map editor. So what can you expect? Hang on, let's just take a moment here. The map editor's here now, basically? Wait, what? The talk was this was coming after release, not necessarily now. Oh well, let's get on with it. So, Maps is their next subheading. WARNO's map editor has been in the works for quite some time. Creating and releasing a map editor has not been an easy peasy undertaking. UGen's proprietary engine for WARNO is a powerful beast, and optimizing the software and letting it be used by the modders and community took some hard crunching and plenty of development time. But now, after laying the foundation and much tinkering, we are ready to share our first work-in-progress versions with the community. The map editor will be part of the next milestone. Now please take note, this first version of the map editor is very much in an alpha state. That means a list of considerations and limited features, bugs and technical issues will be in place. Some key features will be missing, and we will update the map editor along the way, adding, improving and refining features. Now I've got the screenshots in the background. These are much higher quality than the ones that are on Steam, very kindly provided to me by UGen so I can make them big on the video. So a massive thank you to UGen Panzer for that. The next subheading is Map Editor Expectations. Our intention with the map editor is for users to get familiar with the tool and experiment with existing maps. So what should you be able to do? Open existing maps. Move, delete or add 3D elements. This means not only from the map itself, but also elements such as trees, buildings, roads, etc. from other maps. And we're talking about 2,900 existing scenery assets, 3D models, textures, patterns, etc. Save all modifications on existing maps. Create and save new building patterns. These are assembled building elements grouped together. These can be reused in various locations on the map. Get familiar with the UI and shortcuts, though subject to change, especially taking your feedback into account. There are some caveats to keep in mind. Once again, the map editor will be in an alpha state when released. This means the terrain of the chosen map cannot be modified in the first version. You cannot add or remove hills, change the map's height map or relief, or create rivers and waterways. The newly created maps cannot be played or tested in this first alpha version. No playable scenarios can be exported as we don't have export functionality yet. However, everything changed or modified in the map will still be usable with later versions of the editor, which will include play, test and export functionality. And finally, there is no function to add new assets for the time being. So it sounds like they're saying we will get the ability to add new buildings and things in the future. The next subheading is Your Help is Needed. This very first alpha version of the map editor serves as a proof of life. We are working on adding more functionality to use this tool, which will come in later updates. However, we need your help to make the best out of this map editor. We need testers to debug and improve the map editor. We want modders to take their first steps with the map editor, learning the ropes so to speak, and preparing their future maps. Any feedback or input would be helpful. Our map builders have tested the alpha version of the map editor internally, but we need a larger range of hardware working with the tool. The more users we can have test and play around with the map editor, the more chance we will encounter issues, crashes and bugs, which we can then iron out for future updates. While your work might not be testable or exportable in this first version, it can be saved and seen as doing the groundwork for future versions. The next subheading is Map Editor's Future. What can you expect from the map editor's development timeline after the initial release in WARNO's next milestone? Well, keep in mind that UGen's soon trademark is active, meaning we can't and won't make any firm confirmations on when to expect these updates. The following list contains features we are planning to add. These are chronologically listed in terms of soon to later down the line. Create and export skirmish scenarios for existing maps, both conquest and destruction variants, for solo and online lobbies. You will be unable to modify the build. What does this mean? Well, you can modify and change the deployment zones, command zones, values, etc., but not the build, fields, patterns, buildings, etc., or the relief of the map. So that'll be the first thing you can export, is a basic change to the zones. Then they will add create and export battleground scenarios for Army General. These are tactical scenarios launched when manually entering a battle, so not auto-resolve. Once again, only existing maps can be modified, excluding the building and terrain. Then they will create and export brand new skirmish maps with existing scenery assets. Then they will be looking at integrating new assets, 3D models, ground textures to be used in the brand new maps above. And ultimately, but this will take a considerable amount of time, the ability to export newly scripted scenarios, meaning making your own operations. We want to repeat, the map editor will be in your hands soon, but it will be in alpha with bugs, crashes and technical limitations, and a lot of baguette language left over from the code's earlier versions. With your help and feedback, we'll do our best to fix everything untoward and update the map editor. I won't make this video any longer because that way I can just get it out, but I'm now going to sit and go through these images and try and pick out what we're actually seeing there. And then I'll pull up a video about that. As ever, please remember to subscribe to stay up to date on WARNO, and I'll see you all soon. Really soon.